Now look, I think that we could all agree here that Gavin Newsom is by far one of the worst, if not the worst, actual governor in this country based on his overall handling of the LA fires many months ago. But what's interesting about all of this is that we know that his involvement with Meghan Markle is beginning to truly go in a downward spiral, and it's really creating a lot of chaos for a lot of Netflix executives, producers, the board of directors, CEOs Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos, and the overall drama is beginning to unravel at a very rapid rate. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you are new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, in case you guys missed out and need a little recap, the reason why Gavin Newsom is getting involved with Netflix, getting involved with the series with Love Meghan, is that he is trying to find any opportunity possible to go on a program to promote his 2028 presidential run way ahead of time. And we already know that there's a lot of things going on with a lot of politicians right now with Hollywood and trying to use the Hollywood platform to actually boost themselves up. And to my mind, I think that the overall common sense strategy would be divert, right? To stay away from Hollywood as much as possible. But hey, I mean, you know, that's typical Gavin Newsom here. He lives in California. This is his state. And well, with the whole thing going on with Meghan Markle right now, it only got worse. Now, one thing about Gavin Newsom is that we know that he is just as phony and fake and inauthentic as Meghan Markle is. So it's almost like they're actually meant for each other to be on an episode of With Love Meghan, episode 6 of season 2. However, with the Gavin Newsom and Meghan Markle drama escalating now behind the scenes in the middle of reshoots for With Love Meghan, one major development that is now active involves how Gavin Newsom had yet another moment of outrage with Meghan Markle. Now, it turns out that after their previous issues on the set with each other that led to a near 2-week delay until reshoots restart for the scenes between Gavin and Meghan, Gavin Newsom recently had another falling out with Meghan Markle after she caused more issues behind the scenes. Now get this. Now, recently Newsom made specific requests with Netflix executives to instead rearrange the entire filming of the scene to be done in his very own home instead, since they were having many issues with scheduling conflicts and traveling issues for Gavin Newsom, traveling out to the rented house multiple times back and forth. Now, Netflix producers and executives agreed to Gavin Newsom's request to instead film the entire scene in his very own home. However, Meghan Markle openly refused to allow that to happen, as she wanted zero changes to be done to the scene visually speaking. Now, this created arguments between Meghan Markle and even Gavin Newsom himself while they were actually exchanging words during a remote creative meeting for episode 6 of the show. Gavin already had another outburst with Meghan Markle where he informed her that the scene is going to be filmed in his house or not at all, period, the end. And Meghan had an all-out debate with Gavin Newsom that this was going against her creative vision based on what she put into the story back when she held creative power over at Netflix some months ago. Now, Gavin reportedly got so heated that he already warned Netflix execs ahead of time that if Meghan doesn't really agree to these requests, then he is all willing to actually call off the entire plan to film a scene with Meghan Markle and specifically to be a part of With Love Meghan Season 2. Now, that warning is also what sent Meghan Markle over the edge, where it made the grudge worse between the two during the remote creative meeting. Now, Meghan was also demanding Gavin Newsom to ask specific questions related to Donald Trump again. Gavin got so angry over the actual remote meeting that it rattled many Netflix executives, where he informed Meghan specifically that he already didn't want to talk about President Trump at all, only about his politics while cooking food with Meghan Markle. Now, again, let me just say one thing about Gavin Newsom here is that we all know that he's trying to take advantage of Hollywood right now. He's trying to take advantage of a lot of, streaming platforms or TV shows out there and everything else in between to promote his 2028 presidential run. Now, one thing that's interesting about this whole entire development is that we already know that Gavin Newsom is trying to find any avenue that he can to promote himself, to make himself more familiar to the general public, not just within here in the United States, but of course throughout the entire globe. He wants to be known throughout the entire world. And I think it's very interesting the fact that he's going the Hollywood route. He's going through the route of, movie studios, television programming, to really promote himself, and I think it's going to backfire. There's no doubt about that. When you're using Hollywood as a way to kind of prop yourself up, it's going to make yourself look really bad. Not only very phony, but affiliating yourself with a very phony scenario here, where you're actually using Hollywood as a way to actually self-insert yourself into a show like Meghan Markle's series. Again, I think it's a very bad move. Now, as for Newsom, get this, he is also in talks with Netflix to go on other shows, and he warned Meghan Markle ahead of time that he would have no problem skipping her program if she keeps going, of course, the route of giving him trouble. And she is giving him trouble, by the way, because look, at the end of the day, what it all boils down to at this point on July 11th, where we are right now, is that she does not want to film inside of his very own home, and he wants to film the entire scene in his house. And this was all sudden, right? At the end of the day, before just a couple of days ago, this was all supposed to be filmed in the rented house for With Love Meghan Season 2. They tried it. She gave him a lot of problems when it came to the takes that were actually going on, multiple takes, and how she wanted to change things up, change things against the script, and there was really no script, really, going on between both Gavin and Meghan, and that's where he had a very big problem, is that he wants the scene to be scripted. Meghan Markle does not want the scene to be scripted. She wants to go off script, she wants to improvise, and he does not want to actually do it that way. That's another problem. And Meghan Markle is also refusing to actually have a script done for the Gavin Newsom cameo scene. Now, moving onwards, the scene reportedly is set to take roughly 1 or 2 days maximum to film to get the entire 20-minute cameo done with Gavin. Now, this is all to promote his 2028 presidential run ahead of time, before he reportedly had plans to announce his run by the tail end of 2026. Both Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters even had conversations of canceling Gavin's appearance for the show to save trouble, and to instead have him on another TV show. So look, I think it's really interesting here, the fact that Netflix has other programs available to welcome Gavin Newsom with open arms, to actually bring him on board, to actually film cameo scenes. It really makes you question, what other TV shows are out there that are going to be done in a mockumentary style to actually have Gavin come on board? I really do wonder what's actually in the making right now, but interestingly enough, the fact that she's causing a lot of problems, even with somebody like Gavin Newsom, to not film at his house, to refuse to actually change up the creative story or the creative elements of the story, goes to show you how narcissistic Meghan Markle really is, especially now in 2025, when everything is basically on the table, right? All the cards are on the table right now, and Meghan Markle knows that the walls are closing in. She is trapped in a corner. Her time in Hollywood is extremely limited at this point, after what happened with Amazon MGM Studios, after what happened with HBO and Paramount. The list goes on and on. Many major Hollywood studios want nothing to do with Meghan Markle ever again, or if at all. So I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Gavin Newsom in isolation, Meghan Markle as well, and the whole Netflix, backlash going on right now, internally speaking. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.